everybody. Hello from London. Now, my son wanted to light this. Here you go, Maestro. I'm in my backyard in London. It hasn't been renovated yet, so it looks a bit scrappy. But here's my vegetable garden I keep talking about. I've been planting vegetables. Hopefully you're all going to find me. I'm going live on Instagram. I'm going on the Hey House page on Facebook. And I think this will also end up on SoundCloud.
Not on LinkedIn.
No, not on LinkedIn, darling.
The most important social media of them all.
Right. Okay. So, welcome. Everybody, you guys can go inside. That's completely fine now. I'm good. They've helped me get settled and sorted out. I think the fire's going to burn brightly. So I've had a bit of a rough day. I'm just going to tell you. I had some very bad news today. My beloved uncle, who's been fighting cancer for about a year, passed away. So I'm dedicating this full moon ceremony to him. And to anyone else out there who's suffering grief or a loss, because it's been quite a time. We've just had the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, which is extremely rare, and has caused lots of change and lots of transformation. And now we're going to have the full moon in the sign of Libra, the sign of relationships. And that means something different for everybody, which I'll go into as we go along. This is going to be probably about half an hour tonight. We're going to talk about the full moon. We're going to talk about the full moon in Libra. We're going to talk about the fact that this full moon can actually be very healing. We're going to do some forgiving, because that's the quickest way to heal karma, any karma that needs healing, as we go through this strange lockdown period. And if we have time, I'm going to do a full moon 3-card spread with my Moonology cards. I've got the fire going here because of the Indian tradition that I've kind of, almost grown up with. I could say it's been so long I've been going to India to the ashram I go to in India. And, their fire yagams are done all the time. And it's just a really beautiful way to send, energy out into the universe. So we're going to start with a 3-line chant, which I'd love you to join with me, please, darling. I'm going to do Om Namo Narayani, exactly. And Om Namo Narayani is actually the ideal chant for the full moon, because it means I surrender to the divine. Okay, I surrender to the divine. And what do we do at the full moon? We let it all go. We release it. We surrender it to the divine, okay? So hopefully you can hear me okay out here in London, under the moon. London town. I'm going to do a 3-line chant. If you know it, it's Om Namo Narayani. It means I surrender to the divine, or I surrender to the Divine Mother. So here we go. Close your eyes and just breathe. Gently and easily. And just come out of your head and into your body. Full moon is a time when we feel all our feelings, which is why it's the perfect time to process our feelings. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. So here we all are in lockdown, pretty much I think all over the world, with the exception of Sweden. And, you know, it's a time when a lot of relationships are being tested. You know, Louis putting up with me here, being, you know, cooped up with us, with me and his dad, my husband. And there are lots of people whose relationships are probably quite challenged at the moment because of the lockdown, or maybe you're missing someone, or maybe, like me, you've had a bereavement, you're going through grief. Maybe it's to do with the virus, maybe it's nothing to do with the virus. My uncle's passing away today was nothing to do with the virus. But that's why this full moon is one of my favourite full moons of the year, because it's a time to work on relationships. And life is all about what? It's all about relationships and love. Okay? So I'd ask you to think about someone in your life where you've maybe been a bit harsh. Maybe you'd like to turn things around with them. Maybe you haven't been as nice as you could be, you know. Maybe you've been too needy. Maybe you've been too demanding. Or maybe you just really appreciate this person and you really want to move into a state of gratitude around them. So we'll be working with that in a minute, but let me just say the full moon in Libra is always a turning point for relationships, and we normally get one once a year, okay? So it's really a time, if you want to live consciously and intentionally, it's a time to really think about what you're releasing, okay? So I'm going to actually do the forgiveness ceremony here and now. And I'm going to be doing it from my Moonology diary for those of you who've got it. It is sold out around the world, so I'm sorry if you don't have it, but actually the 2021 one's about to go on sale, which is kind of amazing, and I'm about to start writing the 2022 one. But there's a full moon, a simple forgiveness ceremony. If you've got the diary, it's a super full moon this time around. A super moon means that the moon is at its closest point to us as it goes around the earth. So it's going to appear, I think it's 14% bigger and 30% brighter. So the full moon forgiveness ceremony. So I'm going to put on some music, which I have permission to use this music, by the way. Yeah, you jump out, darling. That's fine. Oh, no, don't, just in case you can't do it. It's fine. Okay. Sorry. All right, so, but you can do some forgiving.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe you need to forgive me, darling.
No, I'm fine. I don't have cabin fever.
Okay.
Yet.
Yeah, so really, the operative word is if you've got cabin fever, this is the time to let the cabin fever go and just understand everybody's doing their best. And I've chosen music by Mark Watson, who's given me permission to play his music whenever I like, as long as I credit him. And I've chosen the music for Archangel Raguel, who's the Sagittarius angel, because my uncle was Sagittarius. You can tell it's upbeat, like Sagittarians are. Okay, so take some deep cleansing breaths, okay? We're going to do 3 cleansing breaths. One more. Now, think of someone who's upset you or who you know you've upset, okay? Bring their name to mind. You can say it silently. You can put it in the comments if you want, or you can just say it quietly in your mind. Because guess what we're going to do with that person? We're going to forgive them if they've done something to upset us, or we're going to ask for their forgiveness. So close your eyes and bring the person to mind. and either say to them, I offer you my forgiveness, or I ask for your forgiveness. And now visualize them in a pink bubble of love. And let them float off. Okay, so why is it important to forgive? It's important to forgive because it releases karma. And when you release the karma, you break out of whatever is holding you in the situation. And this full moon is especially powerful because it has a very strong healing energy. Okay, we've just had the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, which was extremely intense and may have brought up a few dramas for people. But now this full moon, we're getting Venus and Mars sextiling the healing planetoid Chiron. So basically, there is healing in the air, okay? There is healing in the air. So really, forgive. Forgiveness is so unbelievably healing. You know, it really is so healing. So just forgive. Okay, and sometimes things have happened which are not easy to forgive. And it's going to take more than one full moon. But if you start to work with every full moon to forgive, it will change your life. Now, obviously, there are some things which you think, well, how can I forgive someone for what they did when what they did was so heinous? Okay? You're not forgiving for their benefit. You are forgiving for your benefit, because guess who suffers when you don't forgive? You do, I do, we do. By not forgiving, we're hanging on to anger. And that has two effects. For one thing, if you hang on to anger, you're obviously going to be in a negative space. But for another thing, if you hang on to anger, what you put out is what you get back. So you're just going to end up in this kind of angry loop of non-forgiveness. And for those of us who are into manifesting, forgiveness is massively important for manifesting, because we need to be energetically clear when we're manifesting, okay? So the easiest way to become energetically clear is through forgiveness, because nearly everything that happens can be forgiven. And also, by the way, that includes forgiving yourself if you feel there's something that you've done that needs forgiveness. And this is a really healing time at the moment. Now that we're out of the Jupiter, Pluto, Mars, Pluto intensity and the fact of Saturn changing signs, and we're getting this full moon in Libra with a Venus and Mars sextile, it's actually a potentially very healing time. So I'm going to just do a really brief healing meditation, and this time I'm going to put on, if I can find my, here. This is another Mark Watson track, and this one is actually for Jophiel, the Libra Archangel. Okay. So this is going to be healing for us and for anyone else in our life who needs healing. So close your eyes and just start to become aware of the rise and fall of your breath. And just breathe. Now, if you think that you need forgiveness, if you think you've done something that needs forgiveness, imagine yourself sitting in a column of healing, sparkly blue light. Just imagine a cascade of sparkling blue light pouring down over you. And put your hands over your heart and say silently or out loud. Put your hands over your heart, darling.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. There you go. I forgive me.
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 I know I am doing my best.
I know I'm doing my best.
The universe is love,
The universe is love,
and I am forgiven
and I am forgiven,
and governed by love alone.
and governed by love alone.
Realizing this,
Realizing this,
I abide in peace.
I abide in peace.
I bring love
I bring love
to all my relationships,
to all my relationships,
past and present,
past and present,
and I send love
and I send love
to everyone I know
to everyone I know,
and everyone who knows me
and everyone who knows me,
in all directions of
in
time.
all directions of time.
I call on my soul fragments
I call on my soul fragments
to be cleansed by the light of the moon,
to be cleansed by the light of the moon,
and I call on them to rejoin me.
and I call on them to rejoin me.
Under this glorious full moon,
Under this glorious full moon,
I am healed,
I am healed,
my life is healed,
my life is healed,
and so it is.
and so it is.
And then put your hands between your breasts or your chest. So be it.
So be it.
So yeah, it's a really, really powerful full moon for fixing up relationships and for healing relationships. So maybe there's someone you need to call or you need to write to and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that thing I did which upset you. I'm sorry for that thing I did which I feel bad about now. I'm sorry if I was difficult. You know, again, let's go back to the fact we're all in lockdown. We're all in quarantine. It's a really, really intense time. I'm just going to, yeah, we'll do it in a minute, darling. We'll do it in a minute. Sorry, I was going to do that, but actually I'm loving Mark's music, so.
Okay, it's more for you to do.
All right, so I want to now go to a card reading. This is for everybody who sees this, be it on the live broadcast we're doing right now or on the recording later. Oops, oh, and a card has jumped out. Okay. What are you hoping for? Do you dare name it? Actually, name it in the comments. If you dare name it, you're going to get this card.
If you dare.
Or what are you releasing? What has to happen for your life to move forward?
I'll read it. Oh,
Anything?
Olivier and Carolyn are watching. Hi, Dad. Hi,
Anything
Auntie
in the
Goddess.
comments?
Adam likes Eve. My daughter is called Jophiel. Oh,
Oh, right. Wow.
that's a nice name.
That's a nice name.
And she is the best archangel because Librans are the best.
Okay. For anyone who's had the courage to say what they're wishing for or what they're releasing, this is the card that jumped out of the pack. It's actually one of the best cards. It's the blue moon card. This is actually a super moon tonight, but this is the blue moon card. It says believe in the impossible. So whatever you're hoping for, believe in the impossible. All right. I'm going to do a 3-card spread.
If Tom Cruise teaches you one thing.
Louis, stop it. Come on. Seriously. Okay. All right. We're going to do 3 cards. This is for everybody who's watching. 1. No, young man. 2. 3. All right, so the first card is, what are you releasing? What am I releasing? What do you need to release under the full moon? I was just trying to find. Here, read me those, darling. The 3. Is that the full moon? There, the 3 cards.
Yes, alright. So, the full moon 3 card spread.
So just read me the number 1.
Alright. Card 1. What's falling away and what do I need to forgive?
All right, so let's have a look at this. What's falling away and what do I need to forgive? Okay, and the card is... interesting.
What is the card?
What's falling away is the need to take action. Now, this makes complete sense with the lockdown that's going on, because we're all learning about letting action fall away a bit and just to be. You know, I was writing something, and I remember, and I was thinking, we can't go out, so we might as well go within. Okay, so what's falling away is the need to do. We're all at home with our families, our flatmates, our friends, our cats, our dogs. Maybe we're all by ourselves. But the need to take action is something we can release now. Okay, so bear that in mind. What's falling away is the need to take action, and that allows space to just be. This can be a really spiritually enlightening time for all of us. You know, I'm doing more chanting than I've ever done in my life. That's for sure. All right, now number 2, darling.
What's the illuminated full moon showing me?
Okay. Beautiful one as well. We have the balance spirituality with practicality, which again is so perfect. This full moon is asking us to balance spirituality with practicality. Now, if we bring it back to the full moon in Libra, which is all about relationships, it's about doing a session like this and sending love to someone and being loving to someone that you need to heal your relationship with, but at the same time also being practical and, for example, calling them up and saying something healing, saying something conciliatory, you know, and be practical as well as spiritual when it comes to sorting out your relationships under this full moon. That's a really, really great card to get. All right, the number 3.
What comes next?
What comes next? Okay. So what comes next is, this is the energy is gaining momentum card. So I think what this card is saying is, well, obviously, we're not going to be in lockdown forever, okay? So I think what we can take from this spread that we've done is, now is the time to just be. You know, now is the time to meditate. Now is the time to do yoga. There are so many classes online. Every yoga teacher is doing classes online. You know, I've been doing yoga with this fantastic guy in India who does yoga called Joshua. And, you know, now is the time to just be. You know, just meditate, sit in the garden, sit outside.
Practice breathing.
We are all saving so much time, you know, compared to all the running around we used to have to do. We're also, a lot of us people are saving money as well. We're saving money because we're not going out so much, although I know some people are suffering financially. In which case, let me just say, now is a really good time to develop an online business. We have the planet Uranus, the planet of technology, in the sign of money, Taurus. It's a really good time if you're thinking about making money online. Go for it.
A true market
Okay.
comes out.
Yeah, my true business person. I am Cancerian. But it's also a time to allow time to just be. So don't be in a frenzy. Don't be in a frenzy. Balance spirituality and practicality. It's a reminder. So, you know, just be, but also be practical. Okay, so if you are trying to earn an income, don't be frantic, but do something like create a visualization that's going to help you manifest whatever you want, but also take practical steps towards it. Okay, and what's coming up now is the energy is gaining momentum. So we're not going to be in this situation forever. But we kind of know that anyway. So I'm just going to end with one last prompt, one question I would like to have you ask.
People are talking about their wishes.
Great. Darling, come and read this for me, because I put my glasses down somewhere and I can't read anything without my reading glasses these days. So read me here.
Which
So-
the full moon forgiveness list?
Yeah, read the first one.
The
Let
questions,
us
okay.
see you, darling. We can only see your hands. Okay, so Louis going to... So basically, at the time of the full moon, there are questions which we can ask ourselves which help us really go within to do something like self-inquiry and kind of like an audit. So if you ask yourself the questions every month in time with the full moon, you'll kind of work on everything in your life over the period of a year. So we're just going to ask one question just for this session. If you've got my diary, there are 3 questions in there. Or if you want, you can go to moonmessages.com/FMK, which is for full moon kit, moonmessages.com/FMK, and you can download a worksheet, which I've got here, which will actually give you some ideas for questions you can ask. But let's hear the top question there, Louis. What does it say?
The top question is,
Yes, I found my glasses.
who do I most need to forgive, apart from myself, for any perceived failures or upsets?
Right. Well, we've kind of answered that one, so let's move on. Give me the next one,
The
darling.
next question is, in which relationship am I going to try hard to find a balance?
Okay. Now, the reason why we say in which relationship, thank you, in which relationship am I going to try hard to find a balance? The reason we say that is because it's the full moon and it's always about finding a balance. It's like a tug of war between the 2 signs that the full moon's taking place in. So in this case, it's Libra and Aries. Okay, so Libra is the sign of relating, the sign of you and me. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the opposite to Libra, and it's actually the sign of me. So in fact, the full moon in Libra is a time to find a balance between me and you and me. So what this question is asking is for you to commit here and now and to state, whether you write it in the comments or you write it on a piece of paper at home or you say it out loud, but do something concrete. Don't just say it in your head, okay? Which relationship are you willing to commit to finding a better balance in? Okay? Which relationship are you going to really try to make it better and to find balance? Okay? It's a really, really important question. If you can improve one troubled relationship in your life at the time of the full moon in Libra, you've already won. Let's just hear the third question, because we might as well.
The third and final question on this page is, where in my life have I been thinking too much about others' needs and ignoring my own?
No, there's a good one. Because we haven't really talked about that. But, Libra is a very giving sign. And sometimes it sort of can be a bit of a people pleaser. So you don't want to only think about other people. And especially at this time in lockdown, where we have a bit more time for ourselves, it comes down to balancing things up. So, obviously you help your neighbour, you help the people you love, you do what you can. And, helping can just be calling someone up on the phone and seeing how they are, giving them some support, especially anyone who is by themselves. But also remember to give to you. Okay, and that's in a way which comes back to the cards, which was what's falling away, is the need to be doing stuff all the time. So it's kind of like finding a balance between doing stuff but not doing too much. Doing stuff for other people but also doing stuff for you. That's what this is all about, huh?
So it's important to rest during this time when we do have time to
And
rest.
to rest, says the 13-year-old
Well, we have time to
yogi.
rest. What? Yogi, yes, I am a yogi. But in this time, it's my only comment, but in this time where we're going to be in lockdown and we'll have time, it's a good time to rest and reflect.
Rest, reflect, and recuperate. Because let's face it, we can't get out of the house. We might as well rest, reflect, and recuperate. Have that. If you like baths, I love baths. Have that bath. More often. Just give yourself a break while we absolutely have to give ourselves a break anyway. Okay, so we're going to end it there. I'm going to end with a chakra clearing chant, which is a chant that I learned at my ashram that I go to in India, that I've been going to on and off for about, 15 years now. And I was taught it. I completely ignored the teaching. I went back to India 3 months later and I was taught it again by someone completely different. So I got the fact that we're supposed to learn it. It's a really, really powerful chakra clearing chant. And I'm going to do it. You can just listen. I'm not sure if you know it, darling. If you've ever been to one of my workshops, you will have heard it because I always do it at the start. It clears our chakras. So as we take in the light of the full moon, it's a time to clear our chakras out, okay? So I'm going to sing it or chant it 3 times. Here we go. Hari Om Nam Lam Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha Hari Om Mam Lam Hari Om Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha Hari Om Nam Lam Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Darling, would you like to go and press stop for me?
Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody.
I hope you followed along and you did everything that my mother said to do.
He was actually told not to say a word, okay? That was the agreement. If he was going to stay, it was going to be completely silent. It's the full moon in Libra, and he's a Libran, so what can we expect? So, darling, thank you so much. Hit finish.
Bye, everyone.
Lots of love, guys.